A heartwarming story of Asher, from servant to son. As time passed in the palace, Asher grew in both strength and bravery. He accompanied the prince in many wars, always returning victorious. His loyalty and courage earned him not only a good name in the palace but also the deep friendship of the prince himself. One day, while joining the prince on a royal hunt, Asher noticed a young boy walking alone through the forest path. Memories of his own past flooded his heart, and he stopped his horse to ask, "What brings you here, little one?" The boy explained he was traveling alone to a village on the other side of the woods. Moved with compassion, Asher asked the prince for permission to help him. The prince, eager to continue the hunt with the soldiers, nodded and went on. Asher lifted the boy onto his horse and carefully rode him home. An elderly man came running from the house and embraced the boy warmly. At first, Asher thought it was the boy's father, but soon discovered he was the boy's master. In that moment, Asher felt a deep stirring in his heart. He quickly mounted his horse again, riding without hesitation to the home of his own beloved master. When he arrived, the household servants saw him and ran forward with shouts of joy. The humble servant they once worked beside now stood before them as a noble soldier of the king's army. Yet Asher smiled tenderly and greeted each one of them as though nothing had changed. "I have come to see the master," Asher said. The joy on their faces turned to sorrow, and they led him inside. There, Joab appeared and, overcome with emotion, embraced him. "Asher, it is so good to see you again." "What has happened to the master?" Asher asked. "He has been sick for some time, bedridden and weak," Joab replied. Asher entered the room and saw the master's face light up with happiness. In that moment, it felt as though Asher were meeting his own father. The master embraced him, whispering how much he had been missed. From that day forward, though Asher was now a responsible man in the king's army and a dear companion to the prince, with permission he set aside his royal duties whenever he could to visit his master. His heart had not changed, he remained the same humble servant at heart. Night after night, Asher prayed earnestly for his master's healing, laying his faith before God. In a short time, the master's health returned, and the household was filled with joy again. One day, when Asher came as usual to visit, he was greeted not with sorrow but with celebration. The house was alive with festivity. His master welcomed him with tears and joy, honoring Asher as though he were his very own son. Asher's heart overflowed with gratitude to God. He knew this mercy and healing had come from the Lord's hand alone. From that day, Asher's life became a living example of how dependence on God transforms everything, from a servant in the shadows to a man honored in the light. Asher's story shows us that depending on God transforms lives. His faith, humility, and love brought healing and honor beyond measure. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 21 reminds us that he who pampers his servant from childhood will in the end find him his heir. Thank you for watching.